That looks like a broken bolt. I spilled oil fucking everywhere. Time to get her taken apart. That looks like a broken bolt. I feel like I should be really concerned about how loose these were. These fucking gaskets are all bulged out. This one, oh my god. My battery died, not sure where I left off. I got the jugs taken off, pistons are exposed, the whole valve train's out. I am going to pop these retaining pins out, and I'm going to check the gap on these rings to make sure they're all good. I was thinking about getting these honed, but these cylinder walls are in actually really good shape. So I'm not, even though I probably should because it's, you know, the engine's apart. Yeah, the pistons look really good. I would almost be willing to bet that these pistons are not stock, or they're stock that have been replaced, because this bike has 50,000 miles on it, and these look better than the pistons that were in my dyno with 30,000 miles. So yeah, once these are taken out, I'm going to flip this thing over. Get the primer. Actually, I'm going to flip it over this way. I have a push button starter I'm going to put on here. The oil pump's going to come off, and then we'll go from there. So as you just saw, I took off the starter cap and I'm replacing it with this little push button cap from Moto Iron. This is just going to quite literally get rid of the starter button on the handlebars. It just engages the starter button, or the starter solenoid I should say, without the electrical relay. So that's gonna help with the streamlined look I'm going for on the handlebars. Alright, so I think that's about as far down as I'm going to take this engine. I don't think I'm going to be able to get those studs off, the actual cylinder head studs. I've tried a couple different things. They're just too seized on there, and they're actually not in bad shape. I did get new caps, like I said before, so I'm not really too worried about those. I'm just more worried about getting all the gaskets replaced in the engine and making sure everything looks good, which it does. Replacing a couple other high wear areas, like piston rings getting replaced, head screws or head studs, caps, or whatever the fuck these are called. That's all getting replaced. Every gasket on here is getting replaced. So the engine should be, I don't want to say like new, but in a lot better shape than it was. So as far as the Evo engine goes, pretty straightforward. Nothing too tricky about it. Primary chain tensioner did throw me for a loop. I thought that was holding on the primary cover, but it definitely is connected. So didn't really need to do what I did there with that, but oh well. Also, I found out that this thing has a lot more oil in it than what you get out with draining it on the bike. Because I tipped this thing over to get, I tipped it over to get the oil pump out, and I probably had to leak a quart of fucking oil out of this thing. That's why there's kitty litter all over the bench, or all over my lift here. A couple other things I do need to replace. I broke the shifter arm getting it off. This thing was completely seized on, and then it basically just crumbled when I put some force on it. I'm going to replace a bunch of the hardware just because, like anything else, it's kind of crusty. A lot of the hardware is, I won't say in bad shape, but it could definitely use replacing. Plus, it gives me a chance to buy some shiny chrome ARP hardware and make it all pizzazz, you know. So basically the only thing I'm waiting on to get this engine back together now is the other 4 smaller caps for the heads. These ones were not in stock anywhere. Now that the frame is done, I'm probably going to put the rear tire on, get the front end done and rebuilt, because those forks came back today actually, and turn that into just a roller for now. And then I may put the engine in there. But I kind of want to wait to do that until I have everything mapped out as far as the oil lines and the fuel lines and electric. I need to do some research and order some wire for that. But there's a swap meet coming up. I guess it's a pretty big swap meet in the area, so I'm going to for sure be going to that and looking for an exhaust. Should be plenty of goodies there to go through and hopefully get a good deal. Cool. So engine's torn apart.